Okay, I gotta move quickly because there's a lot to talk about, and definitely want to make sure I get the YouTube part in. AccendoTraders trade plan for Tuesday, March 25th, 2008. AccendoTraders.com, effective trade plans delivered daily. You guys know the routine. Look at our watch list, set our stops and alerts. Tech news. Tomorrow we have consumer confidence at 10 o'clock. And I also thought it was important to notice that VLO guided their earnings lower. They went from 95 cents down to like 10 to 30 cents. And we talked about yesterday oil being weak. So, again, I just thought it was something to look at, something to be aware of. We have no real important earnings tomorrow. Upgrades, we have Alcoa and Potash upgraded today. Downgrades, Lehman Brothers. And we're going to look at the indexes, scan for some new trades, and set alerts for those new trades. And as usual, go and have life. So let's begin. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our flag list from the weekend. I'm going to go ahead and apologize now. For some reason, I'm using Trade Navigator stream charts, and for some reason, the Nasdaq did not pop in today. Everything else is there but Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq closed at about 23, 26, so it's right at the 50. So we're at resistance, but remember our resistance on the Nasdaq was the 20, so it's certainly a great sign that we broke the 20. And I'm feeling much better about Nasdaq stocks than I am about some of the other ones. And the reason because that is, if you look at the Dow, great, but look at the lower volume today. But again, we broke the 50. We even get that here. I'm thinking that this 1270.30, 1270.50 range is where we can maybe a little bit more giddy. So again, cautious optimism. The market does look like it's moving up, but again, cautious optimism. I really won't be surprised if tomorrow we have some profit taking going on after this last week here. So here's the S&P 500, and you can see it's sitting at resistance of the 50. So we've got the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 sitting at the 50. The Dow has closed the 50. And again, what I'm really looking at, what I'm expecting to see is some profit taking tomorrow, but again, cautious optimism. Certainly looks like the market is heading up. We may have a short-term bottom here. And, we may break that short-term, especially if all the three indexes break the 50 with some conviction. Let's quickly take a look and see where the 100 is. So that would be our next resistance. The 100 is pretty way out there. See, what did we say? I said 12.750 looks like a place to be concerned about. That's where the 100 is going to run into the down. Same thing with the S&P 500. We've got the 50 right here, but the 100 is up here 4,000. So it would be nice to see if we get up here, because then we're getting back into the uptrend line, or the 4.5-year uptrend line. So, again, with that being said, I definitely think we have reason to be optimistic if you're a bull. But again, we're supposed to trade neutral. Let's give you a couple other looks at it. All right, so for our flag list, first off, we have Apple. And, we've been talking about Apple for a couple of days here. And we got our move up into this resistance area. We talked about an aggressive alert to run into the 50 and a conservative alert of the 50. So you can see we finally broke the consolidation. So hopefully, because we had a long consolidation, we'll have a good pop. And maybe we will reach this number up here around 149. I do feel comfortable getting the Apple tomorrow at today's high. You can see we had good volume on Apple above yesterday. Not great volume. I didn't say great. So I am liking Apple for tomorrow. Amazon also broke the 50. Not as great volume, but I definitely think that we have some room to this one. you're going to have to judge yourself for here. I definitely think we have to be concerned about this resistance at 77.50 here. And then we've got more resistance up here at $80. So I'm thinking that we will reach this $7. So I would put my alert right around here and use the tight stop, because you can see we've got the 100 and the 200 right above that. So we'll have to definitely watch Amazon. CDNX, I believe our code was upgraded today, so you can see we got to up move on that. But at this point, we're kind of, I don't know, we're all over the place with this one, even though we had lower volume, which kind of tells me that we're a bullish move on low volume is bearish. So it's something I definitely think we should watch. And since it's in our sector watch list, we'll check it out tomorrow night. But I did unflag it for an entry tomorrow. DO, again, here's our rectangle. We broke it. I'm going to set an alert right here at 115, just to see if we can get a weird falling 3 inverted mat hole pattern to the downside. So I'm going to put my alert right around 115. Goldman Sachs. We really don't know which way this stock's going to go. It could go either way. We had lower volume today, but we kind of have a gravestone doji there. We went up. You'd think we would go up with the Bear Stearns and the JP. We had reason to go up. But you know what? I was looking at LEH on some other things later that I'll talk about. So anyway, we got a rising 3 pattern here, but it concerns me a little bit. So I'm unflagging it. It's certainly one you should watch. You might put an alert right here around 181. Just to say, hey, we're back above the 50. Not sure if I'm going to get in this tomorrow. Well, I know I'm not going to get in tomorrow. I like to see it get back up above the 183. IBM we talked about last night, and we got a nice rising 3 pattern. Nice rising 3 pattern. So we got that in today. At this point, I'm going to let it retrace back on over here to the 10 and the 20. That's why I unflagged it. MOS, even though we have up volume, it's really an inside day. So I'm still liking putting an alert down here at $88 to see what happens. You know, I'm not going to get into it tomorrow. Let me see if it's going to come down here and possibly break lower. MTL, same thing, holding on at the 50. Definitely looks like we have a possible falling 3 pattern here. So I'm going to put my alert right around 114.50 to catch the next move lower. Nucor, we talked about being nice that we got a retracement back to the 20, and then we got another one here. You can go with an aggressive alert right around $73, but I certainly would recommend a more conservative alert above these wicks around $74, $75. Doesn't get us above this wick, but I want to know what's going on right around $74. So that's what I'm thinking about Nucor. Pot. The main thing I just want to show you with this one is a couple things. First of all, we're back in this consolidation, so until it gets out of here, I'm not really going to mess with it. Certainly, you can swing trade it and put an alert above all these moving averages and try to run up here, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen, especially with commodities being weak. So when it breaks out of this consolidation again, either way, that's when I'll play it. But the other thing I want you to see with pot, and again, it kind of goes to this consolidation that we have going on here. As you can see, wicks all over the place. So it doesn't even know what it wants to do. There's definitely some indecision going on pot. RIM, very nice indeed. Again, the Nasdaq's looking nice. So we've reached back to our swing highs from a couple of weeks ago, which is great. Volume's pretty good. So hopefully we can run up here to this gap up from December. So if put an alert at today's high and catch the next move up. RTI just kind of holding on. That's okay. The next support's around $40, so I'm putting my alert right around $44 on RTI to see if we can get the bottom to fall out. Sears Holding we've talked about. We did get another move up today, so that's great. But now I'm looking for a sideways move, looking for some consolidation before I consider getting back in. SOB, the put play didn't happen, but I still like it. I'm still going to put my alert right around $79, $80 to get my next push lower. And Steel Dynamics, same thing as Nucor. Put my alert right around $71. And finally, WLT. This one's kind of going either way. I wouldn't get into this one also until around $61.